Hi everyone, Mahesh here. So let's start. Okay, so this is the agenda for today. So we'll do multi-dimensional analysis on live data. So there are multiple tools available in Fusion or ERP Cloud which are used for reporting. So Account Monitor, Account Inspector, Smart View. And you have financial reporting and analysis using this Financial Reporting Studio. And then there are two more topics, revaluation and allocation. We had just touched based on revaluation yesterday, but I'll show you where we create this revaluation in the system. And allocation, how do we create allocations in the system? So we'll discuss that today. Okay, so this is the agenda for today, and if time permits, we will start with the basic business unit configuration today. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so as I mentioned in session 1, first day, that we have integrated Hyperion Essbase Cube in it. Am I audible? And you can see my screen, right? Okay. So first day we had discussed that we have integrated Essbase Cube within the Fusion application. So when you post a journal, it is posted to your transactional database. So it will update your GL_balances table, and at the same time it will update the Essbase Cube. So you don't have to wait for any batch process to run and update that Essbase Cube. In traditionally, like in EBS R12 or 11i, there will be some batch process, overnight batch, or some like once in a day or twice in a day, you will update that Essbase Cube using some batch process. But here, as soon as you post a journal, your Essbase Cube is updated. Okay, so you get real-time data from that Essbase Cube. Now, when we are talking about Essbase Cube, what is it? If you are from Hyperion background, you will know what is Essbase Cube. But for others, Essbase Cube is a multi-dimensional database which stores the data in pre-aggregated format. Okay, so there are two terms, multi-dimensional. So what is dimension? So like in GL, when you do any analysis on your GL balances, what all parameters you will be using? All your chart of account segments will be parameters. Like I am looking for data for this expenses for this particular cost center, travel expenses, and this particular company. Or for this project, what are my expenses? So all your chart of account segments will be parameter to it. Either you will be looking for all values for a specific segment or specific values. Then second parameter will be your time dimension. So I am looking for period 1, January 17 period, or I am looking for quarter 1 data, or I am looking for financial year 2017 data. So time is another dimension. Then you have multiple ledgers, right? So say UK and US ledger. So I am looking for data from US ledger or UK ledger or from this particular ledger set, right? Then you have like actuals and budget. So in the beginning of the year, you will prepare the budget, and then you will be comparing with your budget. So whether you are looking for actual data or budgeted data, or you are comparing both. Then you have beginning balance, period beginning balance, ending balance, or period activity. And also if you further go down, beginning debit balance, beginning credit balance, or period debit, period credit. All these are different dimensions when you analyze your GL balances. When you prepare your financial statement, say for example P&L or balance sheet, you are preparing, so it will be for a specific company, which is your balancing segment, or for like a specific like group of companies. So all those will be your parameters. Okay, or when department is seeing their expenses, so you will be giving expenses for a specific department. Okay. So now all those are dimensions of your analysis. Now, when I say pre-aggregated, so consider this account hierarchy, or before that, let's consider periods. Okay, you have January 17, consider your January to December calendar, financial year. So January 17 is in quarter 1. It is in financial year 2017. So it is a hierarchy. You have period, quarter, and on top of that you have financial year. So in EBS, when you are running any report on balance, GL balances, or just consider this FSG report, financial statement generator report. So what system will do? Okay, you are looking for financial year 2017. Then at runtime, it will calculate, okay, consider January 17 to December 17 balances and show it. Okay. Or say for example, I am looking for all my fixed asset data. So fixed asset, under that you will be having land, you will be having furniture, you will be having building, you will be having IT equipment, you will be having plant and machineries. All these are different costs which will be under your fixed assets. So at runtime, it will calculate that in earlier system. But here, data is stored at each of those levels. So when you post a journal, say January 17, it will update the balances in Essbase Cube for January 17. Then at the same time, it will also update the balances for quarter 1 17 and financial year 2017. So at runtime, system will not be calculating that. It is stored like this. So all the data is aggregated as per your hierarchy or whatever rules are set in Essbase Cube. Okay. So if you take this example like month, quarter, year, this is your time dimension, date or time dimension. Similarly, you have computer, furniture, office. All these are fixed assets. These will come under all assets. So this is another hierarchy. So data is stored at each of these levels. And these are various dimensions. Currency is one dimension. Say you have created a reporting currency as say USD on GBP ledger. So whether you are looking for USD balances or GBP balances. So this is another dimension. So this is multi-dimensional reporting. Okay. So this is the Essbase Cube, which is integrated within Fusion application. Okay. Now all these tools which we are going to discuss today, Account Monitor, Account Inspector, Smart View, Financial Reporting Studio, all these tools are based on this Essbase Cube. The one thing to note here is Essbase Cube is only for GL balances related reports. If you are looking for say journal report, I want a list of all the journals. Essbase Cube is not for that. Or I am looking for all the invoices created in this period. No, Essbase Cube cannot be used. Only for GL balances report related reports, which are like your cash, say balance sheet, P&L, or you have that cash flow statement. Those kind of statements you will be running based on GL balances. Okay. So we'll go through all these tools one by one today. Okay. And allocations also based on Essbase Cube. So we'll see there is a very good document from Oracle. So we'll see that today. Okay. It is available in Oracle support site. Maybe I'll search for that document number and I'll share. But this is available on Oracle support site. Okay. So first is Account Monitor. Account Monitor is a tool or is a tool which is used for monitoring your balances proactively. Key accounts. So say for example, your department manager wants to monitor all the expenses. all his expenses he wants to monitor, or it could be like I want to see all the expenses which are exceeding my budget by 10%, or which is close to that, when it reaches 90% of my budget. So those kind of reporting or like that kind of data should be shown on the dashboard so that he or she can take corrective measures, okay, proactively. So for that you have account monitor. So let's see how to access that account monitor. So let me go to home page. I have already logged into the application. You will have a general accounting dashboard somehow on this instance, like it is grouped somewhere else, but in your instance it will be under that general accounting. Here you will, instead of 2, you will have 3, general accounting dashboard, journals and period close. It seems somebody has customized this navigator menu, so that's why it is coming in general accounting dashboard at the end under my group, but normally it is available under general accounting section. Okay, so go to this general accounting dashboard. And this is your GL dashboard. So it will have multiple sections. This is account monitor section. Intercompany transaction. So as I mentioned, like this dashboards in Fusion application are will show some exceptional conditions, exceptional scenarios or exceptional data. So if intercompany transactions, when you have intercompany enabled and there are some payables and receivables transactions, and if it requires some attention, those will be available here. Requiring my approval, pending from others, import errors, similar to what we had seen in journal import, journals work page. So that same area, like journals, also you have close status, so you can see the close, period close dashboard here, and you have process monitor. So if you want to see the processes, scheduled processes which you have submitted from here. Okay, so everything in one page here, and key tasks which you will be performing in GL, those will be available here, like create journal, search a journal, create in a spreadsheet, import journal, period close related tasks. So very important tasks are listed in this dashboard. Okay, so let's go and create account monitor account groups. So you have account groups which you can create in account monitor. Account groups are like few rows which you want to display in your dashboard. Okay, it is a very good tool for senior management. They can like view this on daily basis, like what are the movements, or how we are doing compared to budget, how we are compared to last period, or how we are doing compared to last year same period. All those options are there. So to create account group, click on view account group, and click on create. Name MS1706 account group. Give some meaningful name like travel expenses or some kind of expenses, salary or asset movement, anything, depreciation. So based on the kind of accounts you will have in this display in account monitor, allocations, expenses, revenue. So let's select account monitor. Okay, then accounting period. So time option, you want to see accounting period, you want to see quarter, or you want to see financial year. So when you are seeing the data, you want to see for a particular period or quarter or year data. Then you have comparison options. You want to compare, and based on the value you select in here, your list of values will change. So year data you cannot compare with accounting period. So those options will change based on the value you are selecting in time option. Okay. So you want to compare with the budget PTD, QTD, YTD. So if I'm say generating reports quarterly, so how much budget I have consumed from this quarter? So you might be interested in QTD budget. So you have all these options. If you want to see prior year PTD, so I am in say January 17, I want to compare it with January 16 or prior period PTD. So I am in say June 17 and I want to compare it with May 17. So prior period PTD. So all these options are there. This access private, public or shared. So like private means only you can see this account group. This feature I guess was introduced in release 11. Earlier everything was private, so everybody will have to create their own account group. We cannot create account group centrally and which can be accessed by everyone. But with this you can have that public, so everyone can access this, or shared, you will be sharing with some specific users. Okay, so let's give private. So this is header part. Now we need to add what all accounts we want to see. So name, again this column is introduced in release 11-12. So say row 1 or expenses or something. Ledger, from which ledger you want to see the data. Company, you want to see for any specific company or all companies. And data will be shown here only if you have access to that particular ledger or those balancing segments. It will not show, suppose I don't have access to company 10, it will not show, even if I am selecting company 10 here, but it will not be showing the data for that. So let's say all company values. Account. So one thing we have missed, will come to that. So here it will show hierarchies, account hierarchies. So if I have a parent on top of this account 10,000, it will show that 10,000 also, and I can select that 10,000 over here, and then data will be shown for account 10,000. And when you drill down from that, it will show the data for other accounts. And why it is not showing currently? Because we have not published our hierarchy. So we had uploaded the hierarchy, but that was before this Essbase Cube got created. So we had not published our account hierarchy. So we will publish that now. Okay. Another, so department, this option, change option. So when do you want to see this row? It should be always visible, or when it is satisfying any of these criteria. Decrease by less than amount. So your compare option is prior period PTD. So say for example, my sales, current period sales is $10,000 and prior period sales was say 15,000 or something. So if my sales is decreased by certain percentage or amount, then I want to see this row, else it should not be shown. So say for example, another example, my expenses. If my expenses are within my control, like it is way less than my budget, what I have budgeted for, then I don't want to monitor it on daily basis. I don't want to see it. But when I'm about to exceed my budget, or if I have already exceeded my budget for that particular account, then it should be shown. So you can select any of these options to see the data. But initially, when you are configuring your account monitor, this account group, use always display. so that at least you can do one round of testing that whether this row is visible or not. Whether when I am creating, if there is any error, I will not know that there was an error, and because of that it is not showing that account group. So when you are developing it first time, use always display. Once you have tested, yes, that row is coming, data is coming properly, whatever I was looking for, it is coming. So then you can come back, update this to other values. So decrease by amount of percentage. So when it is percentage, it will show percentage. When it is in currency, it will show USD. So say percentage 10%. Okay. So this is threshold. Okay. So for now, I will select always display. Okay. Currently, all three I have selected all values. We will publish the account hierarchy. I can add another row, or I can just create a duplicate of this and then modify, say another row, only 10. I'll use specific account codes, say 10,001, and say all departments, always display, save and close. So I can add as many rows as I want, but it is your dashboard, so you should not overdo it. Like there should not be too many rows. It is for proactive monitoring. So limited number of accounts you should have here. Another thing, I saw this very good concept when I was doing my last project. So like you create your account hierarchies. Okay. So your net profit. Net profit is what? So you have like all your revenue, you have direct expenses, indirect expenses, then you add a few other things, accruals or something, and then you have like before tax amount, that EBITDA, before depreciation and interest. So you have various sections. So say for example, my net profit, it is, say, just simple example, it is EBITDA or EBIT before tax and tax. Now this EBIT before tax profit, it is like say gross profit and say tax on gross profit plus indirect expenses, something like so what you can do, you can create one hierarchy in such a way that you can have this particular row in your account monitor, which will show your net profit at any point in time. Okay, and when you drill down, you can go one by one. So your entire P&L you can see in your account monitor. So it is a very good tool, especially for senior management like CFO or like finance director. They can monitor this net profit on daily basis, how they are doing on that. Okay, so you can when you are designing your hierarchy, you can use this concept like last top level entity or top level account is your net profit account, because it is summary, so summarized account, so it will have another parent level. Then under that parent, so bottommost you will have revenue, expense, those. So under gross profit you will have say revenue, and then you will have expenses. Under expenses you will have direct, indirect or whatever. So expense 1, expense 2, expense 3, or you have like cost of material sold, all those things. So you can create your hierarchy in such a way that top level parent is your net profit. Or if you want to go beyond that, you can have balance sheet. Under this balance sheet, you will have all your assets, liabilities, and net profit. So your balance sheet will show zero balance at any point in time, but when you drill down, it will show your balance sheet. Asset, this much value, liability, this much value, what is your net profit. When you expand asset, it will show fixed asset, current asset, whatever segregations you have or hierarchy you have. Under liability, current liability, long-term liability, whatever hierarchy you have created. So you can create hierarchy in that way. Okay. So let's close this, save and close. So it will show the data. So when I come back, say I'm on my home page, and if I go to this general accounting dashboard, so it will automatically show these values. Okay. If you want description to be visible, you can add those columns as well. So currently it is not showing any descriptions. So say I want account description also. So now it will show me the account description as well. Okay. And this is February period. So it will show the data for earliest open period. Yesterday we had closed January period. So now February 17 is my earliest open period. So it will consider that period, and then it will compare with, because I had selected a prior period PTD. So it is like January, I had some posted some journals, so it is showing that. If you see here, all account values, all company values, so everything is included. My balance is 0, because ultimately your debit and credit will be same and net balance will be 0. Debit minus credit will be 0. So that's why it is not showing. Now if you see here, it is showing hyperlink against these some columns, against amount, against these values. If it is a child value, it will not show, but if it is a parent value, then it will show hyperlink. So let's see. So this balance, what is making this balance? What all accounts are making this balance? So it is that 0 balance, it is consisting of this. Okay. So 25,000. Yesterday we had used only these two accounts, so it is showing those two, 25,000 and 25,000 minus and plus. So this is my debit balance, this is my credit balance. Okay. If I want to see this graphically, because it is negative, it will not show properly, but you can see it in graphical format also. So here it will show a pie chart. If everything is positive, then it will show a pie chart. The data is of 0 or negative values and cannot be displayed, but otherwise it shows the data in graphical format also. You can further drill down. So department, okay, so this particular account, and amount column, it will show hyperlink. So if you click on this amount, it will take you to this detailed balances inquiry page. So that particular amount is for all these combinations. If you click on this amount period activity, it will show the journals which are causing this balance. And if it is a subledger journal, if your source is subledger, say payables, receivables, then amount will again show a hyperlink. When you click on that hyperlink, it will show the transactions. It will open the invoices which are causing this balance. Say for example, you are like going through expenses and you have reached this page, like okay, all these lines, all these journals are there against which are having this particular expense account. Now I want, like, I found some unusual amount, expense amount, like travel expense. It is $100,000. Normally it is $10,000, $5,000, but this period it is $100,000. So you may want to explore that, why I am getting this $100,000. What all invoices are there for that $100,000? Is it a manual journal? Is it an invoice? So you can further drill down and it will show that invoice transaction. Invoice, and if you have say invoice image attached, you can see that invoice image also. So entire invoice you can monitor. Another thing, if you have say, if you are using that Financial Accounting Hub Reporting Cloud, FHRC, then when you drill down here, it will take you to EBS R12 page, and there you can go to invoice transaction. So you are in Fusion, but you have FHRC in that functionality implemented, then you can go to EBS R12 inquiry page from here, and then it will show the transactions which are causing this balance in EBS also. Okay. And you can create as many groups as you want, but by default only one group can be shown here. Only one group will be visible on your dashboard. Rest all the groups, so say for example I have multiple groups, then all those groups will be listed here and you can go to another group and see it. If you want to edit, so go and edit this group and you can change those values. Also, like if you see this set as default, let's create another group. Say MA1706 group 2 and time option. So if you see this checkbox set as default, so which group should be visible by default when you come to this general accounting dashboard? Only one group can be default. If I set this as default, then system will automatically uncheck the checkbox in that other group. So now if I save this and go back, it will show this group. This account group will be the new default. Do you want to continue? So it is just confirming. So now this new group is visible here. Okay. Any question on this account monitor? And you can see the data for any other period. So by default it will show for latest open, earliest open period, but you can go to other periods and show, because January 17 is my first period, that's why it is comparing with itself. But otherwise, as per my rule group configuration, it will compare with last period. Okay. There was one question in chat window. If close GL, is it possible to go back and reopen again? Yes, it is very well possible. You can reopen the period anytime unless it is finally closed. So if you finally close a period, then you cannot reopen. And normally we don't finally close the periods. You can reopen GL period, you can reopen payables, receivables periods, but you cannot reopen fixed asset period. That concept of what we have in EBS R12, once a fixed asset period is closed, you cannot reopen. So same concept applies here as well. Okay. Any doubts on this account monitor? Okay. Yeah.
So transactions are in European currency. Can you show it in like?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
No, if your data is in one currency, can you show it in another currency?
I don't think it is possible, but let's check if there is any currency column. which can be added. So currency column is not there, but let's see. No, so it will show only for your ledger currency. Whatever primary ledger currency you have, it will show the data for only that currency. There is no option here to select other currency. So say for example, you have a reporting currency. You cannot display data in reporting currency on this in this account monitor. That column is not yet available.
Okay.
So many times you may have few hidden columns, but here no hidden columns are there. So no, we cannot do that.
Mahesh? Hello?
Yes.
Mahesh? Is there any way to look at the query behind the report it has generated?
No.
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 Okay.
And another thing, this Essbase cube, you cannot write a SQL query and query that Essbase cube. It is not possible. Only these tools are available: SmartView, Account Monitor, Account Inspector, FR Studio. Using these tools, you can fetch the balances from Essbase cube.
Yeah, one more question.
Yeah.
So, lot of time it happens. You know, they create a new code combination or new account, and is there any problem if that doesn't get synced up with Essbase?
So whenever a new code combination is created, say you are posting a journal and there is a new code combination which is not there in Essbase cube, system will automatically take care of that. So system will automatically put that account code combination in Essbase cube. But if you are changing your account hierarchy, okay, then you need to publish it. Without publishing, that new hierarchy will not be visible in Essbase cube. So let's do that publishing. Let's go to setup and maintenance. I'll go to my implementation project. Under chart of account, after hierarchies, next task is publish account hierarchies. So let's publish it. Make sure that this checkbox is checked. Otherwise, if you click on publish, it will not publish that. You should check this checkbox and then click on publish. So it will submit a ESS process. Once it is completed, then that hierarchy will be visible. So this process is running. Publish chart of account hierarchies version. It might take some time depending on the size of your account hierarchy. It might take some time. Mine is very small, but this process usually takes 1 or 2 minutes or maybe more. So in the meantime, let's move to that next topic, that is Smart View. Okay. So Smart View is a Excel based add-in which is used for doing ad hoc analysis. So say your CFO has asked for some data based on GL balances. He is looking for comparison of say current period versus last period for few accounts for specific cost centers. So that kind of scenario, like either you go to your IT team and ask them to develop a report and they can share, or you can use Smart View functionality to get the report.